I'm Catherine Taylor and I'm the values leader at Washingborough Academy.
Catherine, it's really nice to be with you. Could you tell us something about what's the role of the values leader?
I think values leader has a really important role because it's what the school is. We're a values academy, so it's what we emulate and what we what we role model. So I think you've got to show model that within your teaching, within your assemblies, within the way you interact with children and colleagues, just kind of show that really, and then people realise when you come into a values school what the difference is in that school, and they can see the values at work and see how confident and happy the children are, and I think that's really key.
What would you say are your main responsibilities as values leader?
My main responsibilities, I think, again, to model the teaching and the behaviour and everything like that, and to work with the children to find how they feel values works best for them. So as staff, to see how they input values into their teaching and into the school, and I think that then makes the school a happier place and just brings the values together, really.
How do you induct new members of staff into the values world?
I think they need to meet the children. They need to see the children because they are so happy and so confident. And I think actually it's as people grow up, that's when issues and conflicts and things arrive. And you need to look at children's relationships with each other and with other members of staff. And so if you're new, then you need to work with the children, because at the end of the day, that's why we're here. That's why the children are here, and that's why the values are so important, because you're making those children into a rounded person, and you're making them into the people they're going to become. And if you think we're producing the next generations, then you've got to make them passionate about their learning and with their interpersonal relationships with other people. So.
What documentation does the school keep for values?
We keep obviously the policies. We also the ethos. We also keep the folders and to just keep a track on what the people are doing. So we've got evidences of work, evidence of assemblies. We've got a YouTube channel which has examples of assemblies and songs that incorporate our values ethos in. So the YouTube channel, through our Twitter and Facebook accounts, you can we often tweet and post when we've done a values related activity. And how that links, and just anything really. There can just be a sort of moment when the children say something or they think something, and you take a photo or you tweet it. Or like we're in the cathedral and we lit some candles, and they just had a moment of peace and just tranquility, just to kind of think about. And it was just that moment that the values just came in, and you could see all other schools just like rushing around, but our kids just took that moment to really take a bit of peace. So so documentation wise, we've got the folders and just keeping that evidence really as a rolling on record, keep it on top of it. So.
What differences do you think a values-based school makes to children that perhaps a school that doesn't do values? What is the difference?
Just how happy the children are. They're just such lovely people. They grow up to be so independent, and I've taught at both ends of the school, and you really see where the children are going and what they're becoming, and just they haven't got the attitude some might have, and they're just so confident and happy, and they really think about other people. They're so caring, they're considerate, they think about each other. When a visitor comes in the room, they'll be first to offer a chair, or they just think about each other all of the time, and they're always so considerate, and it is building that respect in the classroom. I think that's really key. So between staff and children, building that respect, so they respect you as well as you respecting them, and I think that's where your behaviours and your learnt values really come from. It's really, really positive.
Do you think it's important for a school to have a values leader like yourself?
Yes, definitely. Definitely, because because then someone can track what you're doing. You can make sure that it's being maintained and make sure that everyone's doing it to the same degree and the same standard, and make sure that everyone understands the importance as well. You've really got to communicate the importance of a values ethos, and I think if you've not got someone leading that, then people won't realise the importance. And actually, to me, values is as important as maths, literacy, any other subject. It is equally important, because that is creating. You can have an incredibly bright child, but if they've got no relationship skills, they've got no values, then they can't make their impact on the world to their full potential. So.
How do you monitor and evaluate the work?
So we would bring everything in, We would look at standards compared to, well, amongst the classes, but obviously we work in teams, so we plan in teams, so it should be quite moderated within that team, and there should be quite a level standard, and we should be seeing it grow throughout the school. But at the same time, actually, values is one of those things that you can have a 5-year-old say something as profound as an 11-year-old would say it. And they so it is interesting to moderate because because actually their quality of work might obviously be of a higher presentation standard further up the school, but actually what they've said or what they mean is so that's kind of an interesting thing to moderate, really, because it is so it's hard to compare, because actually, like I said before, because as you get older, that's when things get more complicated. Actually, your younger children, they're seeing friendship and hope and all your other values at their simplest form.
Finally, someone may be watching you that needs a little bit of convincing about values-based education. Can you sum up why it's so important for us to work within schools?
I just say it's just vital. It's just so important. It like I say, it creates that child. It creates them, and it will allow them to fulfill their potential. And if you think about what the cumulative impact a school can have, that's got 300 children. Those 300 children are going to go out and be teachers, doctors, politicians, anything. They need to have those values ingrained in them to make sure that they're making a full contribution to a society and making them into citizens, really. So really, really important. So, yeah, very important.
Thank you ever so much.
No problem.
Thank you.